NRL Fantasy top team, we have Tez, the coach of Shy Turtle, number 7 in the ranking board. Not so shy today because you've agreed to go on the show. How you feeling?
Pretty good. Top 10 rank at the moment is going great. So pretty confident in myself. Certain strategies have paid off. Kind of a gamble of a strategy, some might say. But yeah, definitely paid off with that. And yeah, not so shy anymore.
Yeah, no, mate, you're up there. I mean, look, let's talk about that strategy straight away because it is the headliner. No-Cleary.
No-Cleary strategy. So this strategy actually came from your show.
Yeah.
At some stage last year, you had Biz on the show. I think he was coming from New York or something. And I remember like Cleary started very slow. Payne, Haas, and Yo went really well. I think it was the first few weeks or so. And then I remember he was talking about his cheapy and gun strat. And he was like, mate, next year, I think I'm just going to start the year with Yo and Haas and then fill the rest, you know? And Cleary starts slow, wait for him to drop a bit of cash, just get him later. And I was like, okay, that sounds like a good strat. So I actually used it and started with Yo, started with Haas, and captain Yo the first week because I was a little bit unsure with Haas. Haas came out and went zonkers like crazy. And then I was like, yep, sweet. Put the captain on Haas week 2 and then followed again week 3.
That's a prime position to be in because very few people went no-Cleary. Like statistically, the case was that he was undervalued to start the year and he'd bump up in price. I'm guessing, and we chatted about it before, but I'll let you speak on your own thoughts here. Cleary's still value, right? Like priced at 58. He's not a guy you're writing off for the year, is he?
No. So once we get into my trade strategy for the next coming weeks, I'm planning to bring Cleary in.
Yeah.
If I had Cleary in my team right now, I would hold him 100%.
Yeah.
You don't lose money until you sell him. And yeah, to start the year, he was undervalued. I think last year he started at $1 million. And this year he started like mid 800s or high 800s. So I'm like, yeah, he's still undervalued. But my reasoning behind it was, yeah, he starts slow. So try get someone else, use the money elsewhere and pick him up when he's cheaper.
Dude, that's so exciting. When you went the pod strategy, took a shot. Look, it doesn't always work, but this time it's put you in the top 10. So you got to enjoy those victory laps while you can. Now, looking at your team, let's sort of zoom back and let's go, through how the first few weeks have gone. Was it a case of, flying from round 1, like instantly you knew this is my year? Or has it been a slow evolution to this meteoric peak?
Definitely a slow evolution. I think after round 1, I ended up ranking 219, which was pretty good. And then I was like, oh, things are looking pretty good. I'm in the top 1,000. Last year I was in the top 1,000 for a few weeks as well. So I'm like, okay, it's nothing. Don't get too excited yet. It's 1 week, like you might have some good players or someone go off a really good captain. So I was like, okay, don't overreact. And then by round 3, I think I got to rank 62. So then I'm like, oh, okay, now it's improving, like everyone's starting
going the right direction. Yeah,
going in the right direction. And then I'm like, oh, maybe it'll balance out a little bit because I'm like, now everyone's going to buy Haas after round 2. So after round 3, I was like, let's see where we end up. I think I had a lot of Raiders and 1 Manly player. I think I had like 5 or 6 players to play in the last game last week. And I was ranked like 1,300. And I'm like, maybe I'll sneak back into the top 100. And even though majority of those players were Raiders players, snuck into 7th,
And Ruben Garrick definitely helps.
Ruben Garrick definitely helped. The 1 Manly player I had was Ruben Garrick. So
28 points by himself.
4 tries, can't really go wrong with that. But yeah, it's just like, I was a little bit worried because I'm like, oh, what if the Raiders don't win? What if the Raiders underperform? And some of them did. Like Fogarty's averaging 50, got me a 40. I wanted Tamale to get me at least a 30, got me 19. Nicholson did a job, which is great. But yeah, it was just like, fingers crossed, let's get into the top 100 after round 3. And yeah, surprise, surprise. Got to 6th, and then updates put me to 7th.
It's all right. It's all pretty close up there right now. Having a look at the team too, we'll jump to the bench. So Horsburgh, Sandon, Metcalf, Hubner. You got Patea there, Cole, Lucas, and Toa. Sticking with Lucas last week, what was the reason behind that?
So last week, I traded out Hosking and Duffy. So I could have traded out Hosky and Lucas.
Yep.
But at that stage, I wasn't really sure who I wanted to buy. So with the money from Hosking, with the money from Lucas, I could have gone someone big like Cleary. And starting with the strat without Cleary, I knew at some stage I had to get Cleary.
Yep.
But I was like, is it really the right time to pull the trigger against Storm at Storm home? And I'm like,
rainy game too. Like,
yeah,
turn me off captaining him. Yeah.
It's probably not the right time. So I'm like, I could leave it another week. If I leave it another week, I could use the Lucas money because he's nearly 700K.
Yep.
So I might use him with someone else, could probably easily get him. And then Panthers have a pretty decent draw to come up next after Storm. So after the Storm draw, it got a lot easier. So my plan was to either get Cleary after the Storm game, but now that he's HIA'd, probably the next week after.
Okay. Yeah, because he's interesting. Like, he's got that 7-week run of games when he comes back, and then they have a bye in round 11. You got round 12 where Origin basically starts there. So it becomes a case of, do you have him for that 7-week window, then potentially sell him after that, or is he someone you carry through the Origin period? I guess if Penrith are losing more games, they're going to need him to play, right? So it could be anything.
Like, my theory on it is with Cleary, like, he's had a few rough games, he's had a HIA, but like with the law of averages, he will score like really, really high.
Oh, yeah.
And even though you might get him for like 7 or 8 weeks, and then a few weeks you're going to miss him out with the Origin, you want to have Cleary in your team for as many games as possible. And I've kind of like dodged the first hurdle of low ones. But yeah, like I said, they have a pretty decent draw the next few games. I expect him to score really, really high. If for some reason the Rabbits beat Panthers this week, I reckon Panthers are going to come out guns blazing the following week. So definitely buy. I'm going to completely disregard the break even. He's just lock and load next week. Good to go.
7 weeks is a long time. We're 3 weeks into the season, and think about how long it's felt. 7 weeks is more than double that. So I'm with you. 7 weeks is ages. Like, I'm with you. You can buy him for a 7-week window. It could be a 4 or 5 week window. I'd probably still consider it at his price. And that's the case against selling him too. So if you're looking at him as a sell option, which a lot of people are, don't do it. Like, because then you're not going to sell him, then buy him back on the back of 70K of lost money. Like, he's not going to lose much more money at this stage. It's just not worth doing. I have a question for you, and we didn't really talk about this before, so I'm putting you on the spot here.
Yeah, sure.
And I'll preface it. It's about a Payne Haas anti-pod. Now, if you were a coach who didn't have Payne Haas at this stage, you're already fallen behind a bit. He's very expensive now. You're not going to catch up by buying Haas. Would you consider the Haas antipod similar to how you did the Cleary antipod, or do you think he's just too good to ignore?
I think he's too good to ignore. He's averaging like 90 at the moment, which is beyond God.
Literally 90. Like,
he's doing great at the moment. The scary thing about him is, I'm pretty sure on one of your previous episode, most of his stats, like his base stats, is like 80 points.
83 average.
83
on
average.
Tackles, run meters, tackle breaks, and offloads.
So it's like
absurd.
It's a very repeatable thing. And like after 2 weeks, people start like guessing it, and they're like, well, is he going to do that many offloads? He was averaging like 5 offloads a game. Is he going to keep doing it? And then he comes out and does it again. So it's like, if you don't have him, you're just going to keep falling further and further behind. If you're going to antipod him, you have to pick another gun, similar, probably not the same price because I don't think anyone's in the 900s at the moment. But you have to buy another gun that no one has who you reckon is going to add to him. The only other option I can think of right now would maybe be Latrell Mitchell because no one has him. He's injured. I think he comes back round 6. And if you're going to try somehow survive without Haas for those couple of weeks before Latrell comes out, that's the only way I think you can antipod him. But personally, I wouldn't dare to do it because he's going crazy right now.
It is very brave. I'm with you there. I mean, Terrell May would have to be a captain as well. Like, he's somewhat comparable. Hasn't had the attacking upside of Haas, and just Terrell May is playing well. He's playing Origin level footy, but Payne Haas is playing best prop in the game, in the history of the game footy. So it's hard to compare. The minutes are increasing as well for Haas. When he was floating around that 50 to 60 minutes, he was still human and fallible. If he plays 70 minutes, there's just nothing we can do against him. So I'm with you there, but I guess then it does bring into play, like Cleary copped that injury in the 7th minute. You didn't have Cleary. You benefited from that. If Haas were to, have something unfortunate, we're not rooting for that. Knock on wood, it doesn't happen, right? But if, if something like that happens, then you do give yourself that chance. But really, that is the only case. Like, there's no case you can make for his scores reducing much. I think he's pretty locked in for that 75 average this year. You'd be brave to say 80 plus. Like, I don't know if he can maintain that, but 75 feels pretty solid to me.
I think 70 would be his base, like as in like the lowest he's would average over the year. I don't think he'll always play 70 minutes either. I don't think there was any injuries in that Broncos game. He just basically kept playing. Kept playing, nearly scored a try.
Hetherington played less minutes. Like, he dropped off a bit.
Yeah. And then it's like, I don't know, like their forward rotation, they're still trying to figure it out because moving Pat Carrigan to prop, you still need to give some minutes to Jensen and Xavier Willison. And I don't know if they're just trying to blood in Hetherington to try play bigger minutes. But then as soon as they see him being gassed or doing too many errors or missed tackles, they just hook him straight out if the game's on the line or something. Because it was a relatively close game, that Cowboys-Broncos game. Closer than I'd like.
Well, you're a Broncos fan, right? So
Broncos fan. So it's definitely like, I feel like they're still trying to figure themselves out, but they're a few steps above Parramatta at the moment, trying to figure themselves out.
All right.
But like, I'll explain a little bit more on that Parramatta jab with the trades later, because I am trying to buy one of the Parramatta players.
Well, just on the Broncos quickly, because they get Katoni Staggs back this week. I think that makes a big difference to their attack. Like, their edges have felt a little bit fragile for me in defense as well. I think his return could potentially mean more space open up for Reece Walsh. The edges being a bit more destructive. Is Walsh someone you have your eyes on? Because you've already got Jesse Arthurs there. You got Payne Haas. Another Bronco for you could be a good thing.
So last week I bought Jesse Arthurs. I went against everything you said about Jesse Arthurs. I bought him because I believed that he was scoring 50 average in the first 2 rounds. And most of that was just getting tries. In my eyes, I was like, Broncos are just going to keep going down that left-hand side. Hunt's down there. Walsh is throwing cutout balls. Whether or not they always hit is another question. But I was like, I can easily see Arthur's averaging a try every game. So I'm like, I think it was just under 400K when I bought him.
He was 424.
424? Oh, yeah, just over
466 now.
Just over 400K. I was like, it was either him or Walsh. And I'm like, Walsh had a massive break even. I think he had a minus game the game before. So I was like, if I get Arthurs now, Walsh keeps dropping in price. If Arthurs, for some reason, falls off a cliff, does really well, gets me 2 back-to-back 20s, I'm like, trying to figure out, I could try to figure out a way to get from Walsh to
Arthurs to Walsh,
Arthurs to Walsh.
100K gap right now. 75 break even for Walsh. It's probably going to get a bit closer. So the strategy's working.
Next week it could happen, but I might be trying to break the bank to get Cleary next week.
It's not that expensive anymore. But okay, interesting shout. I mean, look, you can back those guys, right? And everything we say about Arthurs is he's a career 30 average guy. The attack's good. The fixtures are amazing. But it's a hard one to bet on at that price. So look, it's making cash right now, so it should work reasonably well. Just speaking to a couple of the hold or sell guys, can you get your thoughts on them? So Tommy Gilbert's one I'm getting asked about a lot. Rob Toya, some people are considering selling. Tamale is one that's being thrown around as a sell too. Metcalf is another one there. So they're the 4. They're all in your team. How firmly are you holding on to each of these guys?
Let's start with Gilbert. I am firmly holding on to him. Edge spot's not that great this year. I don't know if it's just early part of the season where a lot of the attacks coming through your wing fullbacks and centers, and obviously a lot of points coming from your halfbacks. And the second rowers aren't scoring as much tries as, I don't know, maybe in the middle of the year or how they did previously. But I'm going to hold Gilbert. He's the captain of their team. He's not overly priced kind of thing. So So like
I sort of 42. So
he's getting me like 40, like low 40. So
49 average still.
49
you
average.
Count that first game.
49 average. So I'm still got value in him. He's not going down in price. He's not an immediate sell. I know a lot of people have red dots at the moment with Cleary and Watson out. And then Ponga, Marzu have a buy. Some people like me still have Dylan Lucas. So it's like I would not be trading a green dot if I was in any of those positions.
Yeah.
In my position where I don't have that many red dots, Gilbert's not a priority to sell. He's probably a decent hold. I'm just hoping he gets to 600K eventually.
I'm with you. Dual position is so valuable as well right now. Like you need that. Yeah.
Like especially like when Origin comes. So we're up to round 4 at the moment. We're a third of the way basically, or maybe 25% of the way to Origin rounds. These dual positions are going to be so important.
Yeah.
Like
so Gilbert important. Might be in the Origin team. Like he has been before. Club captain, Queensland. They just don't get Origin. Like you're a Broncos and Maroons fan, or
yes?
Yeah. Okay. Then I especially double down on that jab.
Yep. You'll probably hate me more because I'm actually born and raised Sydney.
Oh, mate. We're gonna have to do a separate episode on that.
I can explain everything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I bet. I really liked Darren Lockyer as a kid. Is that it?
Yeah, basically.
That's it. Oh, mate. We actually talked about that before. Okay. So he's a hold. I'm guessing Toy is a firm hold for you. Tamale, do you think there's any value to selling him? Like personally, I see the matchup versus the Cowboys this week and think, no, hold on tight, dual position, still cheap, ride the wave.
I reckon, yeah, hold on tight with Tamale. He only scored 18 last week. Raiders got flogged. That's the easiest way to say it. But if you look at him in the past weeks before that, the first week he came out, scored pretty well, got a whole bunch of tackle busts. Next week, didn't do as many tackle busts, but scored a try as well. And he is on a wing. So like tries do come for wingers. I think last week was probably the bottom points you'll ever get from him. And you've already like copped it. So you might as well hold on. And there's not much available at that price range for wing fullbacks, except for the new one at Titans.
DeGroot, it's 83K. It's not much.
Yeah.
I think Tamale's a better scorer.
Yeah, I reckon Tamale over the next 5 weeks will outscore DeGroot.
Yeah, and Jenkins is there. Okay, cool. And then looking at the top 10 in general, because I know you've done a bit of analysis on the other teams here. Can you get your thoughts? So you had a look through what are the trends you're seeing? Do you feel like, actually not do you feel like, why do you feel like you can beat all of them?
Okay, so I looked at the other guys in the top 10. I sussed out their teams, saw the point of differences that worry me. So some of them which didn't worry me were like Preston, Fermor. That wasn't a big worry to me.
Yeah.
My biggest worries were Campbell, Hines, Cleary, Watson, Munster, and Yo. But I have Yo. So in the top 10, only 2 people have Yo, including me. 2 people have Campbell. 1 person has Hines. 2 people have Cleary. 8 people have Watson. 1 person has Munster. So, like, looking at the other teams, if I was in the top 10, if I had either Cleary or Watson, because they're both not playing this week, I'll probably hold because who are you trading him to? Like, maybe you don't have Campbell. Everyone has Haas. Everyone has Terrell May. They're not point of differences. Everyone has Humphreys. There's not a real good option outside of Jaden Campbell this week to trade him for. And because it's only a HIA, these happen in NRL. Your players like Haas can come out and get a HIA this week. Knock on wood. But 1 week isn't too bad. If it was something like Hosking with a broken hand or Dylan Lucas with a hamstring, where it's like 5-6 weeks, that's where I'm like, okay, you're an easy trade. Because those 6 weeks, someone else can come in, get me 50 a week, at least 50 a week or something. That's 300 points. Like sitting there. But yeah, Cleary, Watson, definite holds. I'm looking to buy them eventually because I have Marmazilis as my hooker, doing a great job. But eventually I will need a gun hooker. And I'm pretty sure Rabbits have a bye the first week of Origin.
Concern with Watson, though, is he's playing good footy. He's versatile. Probably makes the Origin team. Roosters' bye schedule is a disaster.
If you play Origin, yes.
Yeah, so I reckon Watson, we're going to have to let him go because I don't have Watson either. It's that volatility as those games. Like he has a few HIAs, moves to center sometimes, but then has that upside as well. So round 2, I was terrified of it. Round 3, I felt a bit better. but yeah, interesting. And then, so I guess where are you targeting, right? Because you're going Cleary, obviously, next week or the week after, thinking about Walsh and that kind of thing. But for this week, what's locked in for you?
I wouldn't say anything's really locked in.
It's never locked in.
It's never locked in. I have a few options. So I have, I think, 100 and something K in the bank. I'll just double check for you in a second. I have 126K in the bank at the moment. I still have Dylan Lucas on my bench. I can go one trade and go straight to Campbell. But I also have Patea on the bench. So he started in round 1. When I went my guns and cheapie strat, I needed to buy a whole bunch of cheapies. I had a lot of centers at that stage. I did have Rob Toya, and at one stage I had Purdue, and then also swapped him out for Dewey at one stage before the lockouts. Then Toya scored really well, so I was like, okay, I need a looper. So that's how I ended up with Stafford Toa. Which has been great because he's been earning quite a lot of money as well. So I'm still stuck with Patea. I could potentially keep him as a looper, but unfortunately, the next 3 rounds, Panthers play either the first game or the second game.
Okay, it's not helpful. I mean, good for Cole.
Yep, great for Cole. Bad for Patea. Great for Cole, bad for Patea. So I am looking to essentially swap him out. I do need to trade Lucas to someone else who's going to get me some more points, just so I can either stay in the top 10 or progress further. My targets are either Jaden Campbell and Tony Katolga. Yeah, is that how he says the name? From the Eels. But that won't really leave me much money. It gives me about 58K in the bank. I still have Fogarty, who's about just under 700K. If my plan next week is to get Cleary at 770, I need 70K in the bank at least. And I need Fogarty to score 58 to break even.
So let's call it 80K.
So I don't know if I'm actually going to get Campbell. The other option was saying with keeping Katoga for Patea, but getting Tedesco instead of Campbell. That will free up a little bit more cash. I'll have 126K in the bank. The reason why I like Tedesco is because their origin period, Roosters don't play any of the major buy rounds. I don't expect him to play origin either. I feel like Dylan Edwards has kind of firmed his spot in that.
Edwards gets hurt.
Unless he gets hurt again.
And Turbo's in form, I guess.
I feel Turbo, Latrell in the centres. Queensland haven't won against that.
Crichton's first pick, though. Crichton's potential captain this year. See, I reckon they're going to try and find a way to get Turbo in on the wing, or does an injury at fullback. You know what I mean? Like, as much as I get you, like they're the centers I like watching the most. Like, it's unstoppable. But I think Crichton is picked for sure.
See, Crichton can also play fullback. No, not for New South Wales, but I'm saying in that caliber of centre. If New South Wales run people who can essentially play fullback as their centres, and they great in defence, great one-on-one, because centre's one of the hardest positions to defend. A lot of the times you're one-on-one, sometimes you're caught out. Sometimes your winger runs in and then your chase runs in to tackle someone, and then you're left trying to catch the other winger on the other side. So centre's a tough position, but Stephen Crichton is a proven centre. He does really well. So
but back to Teddy. So you're thinking about Teddy. I think he probably doesn't make origin. What's your forecasted average for Teddy and then for Campbell?
I think Teddy will score a 55 minimum average.
That's a big number.
It's a big number.
Last year's number in a worse Roosters team.
He hasn't scored a try yet. He did get 3 try assists.
Is that just their attack being worse though? Like, I mean, I'm holding Angus Crichton in my team, right? So I'm also a partial believer in the return to the norm. So I get you. But is part of it just the Roosters are not going to be as good this year?
I don't think they'll be as good, but I think they also have the talent still in the team to slowly, as more games progress, as they train with each other more, they will learn to work together as a team better. Know exactly the play style of Chad Townsend. It's always difficult with a new halfback coming in. Learn the play style that he wants to play. Same with 5'8" as well. They got a new 5'8". So it's just going to take time. And it might be a little bit of a slow burn, but I don't think he's going to score me less than 50.
See, if you think he'll go 55 plus average, it makes sense. I've got him a bit lower. I think there's going to be some of those real shutout, like quiet games in there scattered amongst it. I don't think he has that meteoric upside this year. So I've got him in like the high 40s personally. But whereas Campbell, I have in the 60s, like low 60s. So that'd be big though. Like that's a high end projection of a Campbell believer.
The difference between me getting Teddy and me getting Campbell is essentially just the money. Yep. So if I, what did I say? I think I got like 50K left over if I get Campbell, and about 100 and something if I get 58K if I get Campbell, 126 if I get Tedesco. That money for
it's a lot.
It is a lot.
It's a lot, yeah.
So like my plan is to get Cleary. I have Fogarty, Humphreys, and Metcalf as my halves, and Sandon Smith and Cole. I don't think I'm selling Sandon Smith and Cole anytime soon. At least another 2-3 weeks, just until they peak in price. Metcalf can go. Fogarty can go, but I would prefer to keep Fogarty out of the two. So if I prefer to keep Fogarty, that means I need to generate more money to go from Metcalf to Cleary, which would be huge. Yep. That's a big jump. But to do that, I need money. And I also did the math to get even more money than what Teddy would save me. The other option was Pappenhausen, who's even cheaper.
Yeah, right. Okay.
So if I get Pappenhausen, I get 157K in the bank.
Yep.
Which is plenty.
Right.
I could also just do one trade. Instead of getting rid of Patea, I could just go Dylan Lucas straight to either Campbell, Pappenhausen, or Teddy.
Yep.
It's just whether or not I want to buy the points. Because I do believe Campbell is going to score the best out of the three. It's just, will Campbell score better and with Metcalf and Fogarty in my team? Or will Campbell score better? No, sorry. Campbell with, Fogarty. Campbell with Metcalf. Sorry. Campbell with Metcalf. Or you're going to have Teddy, Fogarty with Cleary.
And the second option sounds a lot better. I guess the other thing you do is, so sometimes I'll look at this sort of situation and just go, you know what? There'll be a curveball next week. Money will be freed up. But sometimes you just run with that assumption. It's very tough to plan ahead, but interesting to get inside your head there. Look, I'm not trying to talk you out of anything. I'm just sort of challenging your ideas. I think the plan is good. Getting on Cleary after everyone's copped the loss, it cements them behind you.
Yeah.
Because then if he goes 100 plus, you don't miss that. You just miss the 5-pointer.
Yeah.
So it's a very good strategy. I'm a big fan of it. You've anti-potted successfully. Now you're just locking it in. So great move. Looking ahead then, is there anything you want to talk about in terms of your strategy going forward? Because you're now in 7th place. I've seen a lot of people get to this spot and panic, and they go, all right, I'm just going to buy points aggressively every single week to try and stay in the top 10, and they fall off a cliff towards the end. But other times you see people play it too cool, they fade out, they never get back. So it's a precarious spot. Can you hear what your thoughts are there?
Yeah, it's a bit tricky because like last year I played fantasy. Started really bad, really bad.
Isn't it kind of easier though? Because then you watch your rank go up. Like
it's more fun. Actually. If you
less pressure.
If you start really bad and you only go up from there, it's great fun because each week you just feel like you're doing the right thing.
Your graph looks good.
Whereas if you start really good and then you start going back, you start hating yourself. You start questioning your trade decisions. But yeah, last year I started 52,000 in round one.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay.
Pretty far back.
Last year was pretty crazy though. Like, let's just remember round one was chaos. Like some of the top 10 teams didn't have 17 players. Like, it was totally insane.
I remember there was like crazy amounts of injuries. Everyone's hamstring was pulled.
Yeah.
A lot of the top guns were out.
Yep.
I think like by halfway of the year, the best halfback in our team was Jerome Hughes because Mitchell Moses was out, Cleary was out, Reynolds was out, everyone was out. But yeah, by round 9, I was 394. So came into the top 500. And then towards the back end, I ran out of trades because to push ranks, you have to trade. So at the start right now, I feel like I need to trade a little bit more, maybe another 2 weeks, 2 trades each week. And then from then on, I'm barring injuries. I'll feel like I'll have most of the guns. So if I get Campbell this week, if I get rid of Fogarty and then I get Cleary, I end up with Yo, May, Haas, Cleary, Ponga, and Campbell. So I'm pretty confident in that team. It's a very strong team. So if that's the goal, if the goal is to get as many points as you can, to get as many guns as you can, and to do that, you need cash generation. So there's a fine line between being patient and trading a player out, because Metcalf could potentially earn me more money, but at the same time, he could be on the chopping block. Cleary is a must-have. So right now, future plans. Next week, definitely get Cleary. Week after, I'll have a look at Walsh. Broncos have an amazing draw. They have like the next 3 games all at home. Last game was at home as well. Most of their games are just in Queensland. They're looking to click. Walsh heavily relies on attacking stats. And Broncos is kind of a team where they will let points in, but they will also constantly try every single way to score a try, whether it be kicking it out on a 4 or doing 40-20s. You know, they will try every trick in the book. And whether or not most of them work, I reckon most of them fail. But yeah, he's going to be attacking stat reliant. So in about a couple of weeks, Arthur's to Walsh doesn't seem too far off.
No, that's super viable. He's definitely high on my watch list too. Like, I was keen to get him this week if he played better last week. It was such a bad game last week as well. I'm like, I needed a bit of a bounce back last week for him, because against the Cowboys, that was a matchup I thought he might do better in. If he scored 50 in that game and it had a 60-point break even this week, I'd buy him 100%. But the 35, it's like,
too low. It's too low. You need to see him prove that he can do it.
Like, Ben Hunt's a new chef in the kitchen. Like, it's very tricky to predict when they're going to click. If you can go early on him and get a big score out of him, it's a good shout. Last one, Jimmy Humphries. Did you start with him?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, another one. Bang! Look at you. Just correct call after correct call.
Jamie Humphries started with him. I think round 2, everyone's selling Metcalf to buy Humphries. I wasn't in that position. Metcalf scored great in round 2. I think he scored 60 something.
Yeah.
So started off in a great position. Having Haas was like the best position you could have. Starting with Humphries and not having to pay up for him has also paid off great. Like, I heard about Humphries, I don't know, a few times last year. And I heard that he was meant to be the replacement for Daly Cherry Evans when he leaves.
Yeah.
Which is kind of ironic, because
isn't that hilarious? Like, Manly, come on. Like, same as Parramatta, let Dylan Brown go, but they've also sold Blaze Talangi and Ethan Sanders.
Yeah, there's not much Parramatta.
Yeah.
Like, the thing is, I feel like Parramatta, if Dylan Brown goes, Galvin's an option.
Yeah.
Like, and
we got a new Dylan already. Dylan Walker signed with Parramatta today.
Yes, I heard about that. I heard Compassionate Grounds.
Is that new 6?
Is he 6? Playing 6?
Probably not. But he has before. I mean, I'm desperate at this point. Like, he'd run the ball 15 times a game. Like, he goes.
Yeah, he goes.
Yeah.
He works. When he's on the field, he works. He has some ball playing skills as well. Which
I'd consider it, honestly. Like, we need a bit of stiffness in the team somewhere. And
yeah,
I don't know. Like,
a little bit of go forward.
Yeah, maybe Hopgood moves to a bit of prop. He plays a bit of bench lock or whatever. But anyway, so yeah, go on with what you're saying. I don't want to make this Parramatta podcast.
I forgot where we were at. Sorry.
You're talking about Humphries being the replacement at Manly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you believed in him over Dodd, basically.
I believed in him. Like, I started the year with a couple of questionable players. I started with Humphries, which had a big question mark on it. I started with Heath Mason.
Yeah, wow.
Fullback for Tigers.
Okay. He took some speckies, but you recovered.
I recovered straight away, straight to Tamale.
Yeah.
And then I also started with Pateo, who I still have. But that was my way to get all the guns that I have.
Yeah.
There was other options like Purdue and stuff like that. But I was looking at the Cowboys team and I was like, I don't know how many points he's going to score here. So I went with some other options and they were quick trade outs as soon as I saw that they weren't going so well. I also started with Kobe Headington.
Yep.
Who was also a quick sell.
You're a Broncos fan. So
I was like, if he's going to play big minutes, no one knew what the minutes he was going to play yet. Like,
he was a shot. Could have had that offhand Gowie role. Madge has turned off. Madge normally picks one middle forward and makes them transcendent in fantasy.
Yeah.
It's not Hetherington, it's Haas.
It's Haas.
Yeah. You found out quick, yeah.
Well, I had my eggs in both baskets. Hetherington and Haas.
Yeah.
But I did think, Carrigan's points will go down. So I was like, the points have to go somewhere. It's either Haas or Hetherington. So I jumped on both. And I was a little bit shocked at like Payne Haas's ownership going into round one.
Yep.
It seemed like every other year, Haas's ownerships were significantly higher than Yo's. And it's people usually either go one or the other.
Yeah.
And I was like, going with BizStrat, I'm going to go with both.
Yeah.
But I was like surprised that Haas was so low ownership, and everyone
it was the surgery, man. Surgery. So he was in my team all preseason, and he had that ankle surgery in the preseason. I'm like, nah, not doing it again. Not doing it again. And he just came back. It didn't affect him at all.
Yeah.
That's what scared people off. Like 100%, that's what it is.
It really, 100% scared everyone off, because I see so many comments on Facebook groups like, oh, I started every single year with Haas.
Yeah.
And the 1 year I don't, he goes bonkers.
Yeah.
It's come to bite him. But now it's not really a point of difference anymore. I feel like after this week, his ownership's going to just skyrocket.
Yep. Especially new ones. Yeah.
Especially with Watson and Cleary being out. Again, I don't think they're sells. I think they're holds. If I had him on my team, I would definitely hold them. And I'm probably looking to get at least Cleary.
Yep.
In terms of replacing Marmazelos, especially for buy rounds.
Seems to be replaced Marmazelos. He's the best hooker in fantasy, right?
I only have one hooker. I need someone for buy rounds.
And Paddy appeal to you at all?
A little bit, but I feel like Starling takes too many minutes. If Raiders are on the front foot, Starling stays on for longer. If they're on the back foot, they kind of want to bleed in on Paddy.
Yeah.
And it's Ricky Stewart we're talking about. He chops and changes his team all the time. He might play a guy for 3 weeks and be like, sorry, next week, Tamale might be out, Hopewadi might be in. Same with Savage.
Don't say that.
Savage,
don't speak that into existence.
Savage. Yeah. If Savage has another shocking game like he did last week, and he scored 2 points on fantasy.
Yeah. Getting cheap.
Getting real cheap. Then you could easily see him swapped out for Hopewadi, because Ricky Stewart's like, hey, it's not working for us. Something's going to change. So the Raiders team seems a little bit scary. I feel like I'll hold Marmazelos all the way to the bye period, and I might trade someone else because I probably need 2 hookers for someone who has dual position. Probably not Connor Watson because it's Origin, but probably someone like Reid Marnie. So I'm watching him closely, and I want him to drop a few. I don't want him to drop price a little bit more. And then, Bulldogs also don't play any of the major buy rounds. So having him during that would be great. Having a hooker locked in, don't have to worry about it. Same thing if I got Teddy, just don't have to worry about it. Just leave it, plug and leave him until at least after Origin.
Hang on, you got a plan. Look, what I'm picking up from you, the big thing is follow your gut. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Just move on quickly. You've had a few big calls that have absolutely worked. You've had some that haven't worked, and you've just moved fast and turned them into advantages. Been flexible. Am I summing up right here? Like, just to finish this off here, would that be your final word? Just go with your gut. If you disagree with the crowd, follow it anyway. Like follow yourself. Sorry, rather than the
follow
crowd.
Yourself. So I probably wouldn't anti-pod Haas, but
maybe I was leading there.
Some of the other players, if you're 50-50 about him, like for example, I'm like 33% on each of Campbell, Pappenhausen, and Tedesco this week. Eventually, just pick one, follow your gut, follow through. All of them have viable arguments. All of them have great stats. But then also try to plan ahead a little bit. So I'm trying to see into the future. How am I getting Cleary? Do I have to get rid of Fogarty, or can I get rid of Metcalf? And that kind of plays into it a lot. So just follow your gut and trade well.
Good advice. Wise words, guys, from Tez, Shy Turtle. Mate, thank you for jumping on here. Thank you for swinging out. It's been really cool to get inside your mind and inside a top 10 start here. Hopefully we just see you keep rising and rising up that leaderboard until first place.
Hopefully first by the end of this week.
First by the end of this week. You heard it here first, guys. If not, then send abuse in the comments.
Send all the abuse.
All right. Cheers, mate.
Thank you.